Hey everyone, it's Legit Camel here with my co-host, High Score TJB, and today we're going to be talking about virtual reality. Well, one of the things that we were going to cover were some of the choices that we are left with today. It's really been developing. Before we only had like the Oculus Rift and like the PC hardware, but PlayStation recently released their
the PlayStation VR, is officially called.
and I mean that the price points between like the PlayStation VR and the Oculus Rift, I mean there's a pretty big jump. I believe the PlayStation VR was $400.
Yep,
and we
give or take.
recently went to Best Buy, checked out one of theirs, and it looked like $59.99 to like around $700 or something like that.
Oh yeah,
It kind of depends what you're going with. If you're just going to get the headset, or if you're going to get the headset and the controllers and like extra motion pads and stuff like that. There was like a whole setup.
pretty much how deep do you want to go into it? You know?
Yeah, essentially the extra. The way the guy made it seem is that the extra motion pads are kind of necessary if you really want to get the full experience. So, what was it like? It was $700, $800 for the whole thing,
which is pretty much the price of a new PC.
When I built my PC, I spent $800 on it. So essentially, I'd have to rebuy my PC just to get VR put into it, which seemed a little bit ridiculous to me. But it's a new concept. People are like really excited about it. I've only had a small experience with it, and it was honestly only with like a VR headset thing with a mobile phone inside the little VR thing, and it worked for the most part, but the graphics were terrible, so I didn't really feel immersed. I know that when we went to Best Buy together, you actually got to put the headset on yourself. Dude, I mean, how did you feel when you you played it?
First off, so I tried a game called The Climb, which is where you're climbing a mountainside and like a straight cliff. And I thought it was really cool. First thing I thought when I put it on and I started playing with it was I really wish I wore deodorant because I made that guy. I was the stinky Nick Beard right there. I didn't expect for us to be out that long, but I didn't expect to play the Oculus Rift either. And but I thought it was really cool. I was definitely a huge skeptic of the whole thing until I tried it, and it's just unreal how much like the sound, the new grip controllers that I was trying. Obviously, they're going to do this for a demo, but I do feel like I got the premium package trial. Like I tried all the fancy new hardware with it, and it was worth it. It was really cool. Now, it might be worth $800, but am I going to pay $800? That's two big differences there, because my budget does not allow me to pay for an $800 pretty much a video game system. Which I view this as. I view it as a game system.
Well, it's not only a game system, but let's say you don't have the PC rig already. You're dropping $1,600 at least to get a PC that can properly handle the Oculus Rift requirements and the graphics of the whatever game you're deciding to play.
Oh yeah. So
top of that,
with that, although the quality is definitely there, I'm not denying that. One thing I want to take in is we also have another option, the PlayStation VR. PlayStation Virtual Reality, which is coming out for the PS4. This one, manufacturer suggested retail price is only $400. Big difference from the $800. Granted, you also have to buy a PlayStation 4, but for the large market out there, people who do already own a PlayStation 4, this is a definitely better option than buying an Oculus Rift. Price-wise, because like what you said, you're pretty much rebuying your PC.
Essentially, you would be, yes, in my opinion.
Also, something cool with the games, of course, there's got to be software to go with this. And this is where you and me both are very skeptical. First off, a lot of the games really just seem like tech demos. Yeah, they're cool, but they're pretty much tech demos at this point. The Climb, yeah, it's cool. I'm, mountain climbing. All right, what else can I do from this? Oh, that's all I do is I climb a cliff? I guess that's cool. You know what I mean? I haven't had a chance to try out the wildly popular Batman VR.
Yeah,
even though I've been told that's really cool.
That was supposed to be really awesome. That's the problem. Is like it's hard to get any experiences with it to really just be like, yeah, I want to buy this. When it's like it's so up in the air. It's like, wow, this looks cool, but I mean,
the money,
$800, $400 for this. It's like, I don't know, because who's gonna want to drop $400, buy Batman VR, and then all of a sudden just not like it?
Yeah, or not play it as much. And that's my big fear, is this is going to be a fad, because I believe in the belief of if you're selling something, sell it to the moms. Sell it to the parents. Because at the end of the day, I feel like kids are still the primary target. Kids or young adults are still the primary target. And I don't know anybody our age that is able to shell out $400 like that, unless they're really dedicated.
Yeah, very, very hard to come by. $400 just fall into your pocket. I mean, it's almost like a once a year when you get taxes. Maybe you drop it to get something like that. But around tax season this year, I might want to get a new console instead. A bunch of new consoles have been announced, and they're going to be released pretty soon. Maybe I hold on to that, wait for the PS4 Neo to come out, wait for the Xbox One S to come out, wait for the Nintendo Switch to come out. It's like there's a bunch of stuff I could juggle between. It's like, do I want to dive down on VR, or would I rather just get a new console, get another upgraded console? And I honestly, I lean a little bit more towards the console, just because VR just seems a little bit of a niche thing right now.
And what do you say the games are a big factor in that? The fact that there's really a lack of true games. I'm going to straight up say true games to it. Would you say that's a big deciding factor in buying one or not?
Yeah, honestly, like the games is a big part for me. There isn't any standout game on the console besides the Batman game that you can look at the title and be like, oh, I recognize that. I would pick up the VR to get that. It's all like indie developers right now. There's not really any big gaming companies that have really dove into this yet, which is really where a lot of the sketchiness for me comes from. Is like, okay,
you don't want it to just be a fad. Spend $400 2 years from now. It's collecting dust.
Right, and then it's like. Sure, maybe the indie developer made a fantastic game, but I have no experience with this developer. I haven't even been able to experience the game whatsoever, and it's VR exclusive. It's like, how am I really gonna...
You don't want to trust them yet.
Exactly. It's like, how can I justify spending $400 to just try out a game from a developer I've never had any experience with? It's a little bit hard to spend that kind of money. Between the PlayStation VR... and the Oculus Rift, though, one thing I can say is that the Oculus Rift in choices of games is going to have a lot more, because Oculus Rift is attached to Steam. And a lot of games, especially with the indie developers, they're just like tossing in Oculus Rift support just because they can do it, which is kind of interesting.
You can't argue that PlayStation is also, with the PS4, there's a lot of games coming out with VR support. So they definitely have their fair batch of games. And that's, I guess, where you can say mainstream AAA developers are helping out with it. Only thing is, it's support. You know what else has support? The Kinect. You know what else has support? The Move. If you do not focus a game entirely around a certain thing, then really it's just an add-on. It's a tack-on to me. And that's not a giant reason to purchase the latest fad in technological superiority in a video game system. To me right now, I feel like, at least at this current time, VR is cool. VR is fun.
Oh yeah, it's super.
If you have not experienced VR yet, everybody has at least one friend who knows a friend at this point who has an Oculus Rift or something. Play it, try it out. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. But with that being said, the pricing still a major issue. And like I said, you need to sell to moms.
I could justify $300 to $200 coming out of my pocket for it.
$200 for me, $250.
But, it's super hard unless there were some really big seller games for me on it. Honestly.
Now, that's why I'm saying right now, just go mobile. I know Samsung has a thing to where they have a bunch of virtual reality games with their phones. Like, that's actually a big selling point they have. Plus, a really cheap headset to go along with that, which is anywhere between like $80 to $130. Dude, that is so much cheaper than the $400. Right. I mean, that's just simple,
The only thing is math there. Yeah, the only thing that kind of sucks about it is you don't get like, when you were playing the climbing game, there's no controllers really. I think you can get a set of like Bluetooth controllers or something with it.
That's what I was using.
Or something weird. I'm saying with the phones, I think that you can get a set of Bluetooth controllers. I'd have to do a little more research on it, but like you got to spend an extra chunk of money to get something like that, plus the headset, plus your actual phone. The thing that's nice is that it's just your phone that you clip into a headset.
Yeah,
and it does everything for you automatically. There's no extra. I don't need a PC rig. I don't need a PS4. It's just something that I already have in everyday life. Everybody's got a nice smartphone that they can use.
Oh yeah.
And that makes it a little bit easier.
Not catching in flames.
But the graphics and stuff and some of the games that are going to be supported on it aren't going to be as big. You won't have any blockbuster games guaranteed, really, on your smartphone VR versus if you go with the Oculus Rift.
Yeah, I guess if you just want to dip your toe in the water, this is the safe way to get into this fad. I'm going to call it a fad for now. Safe way to get into the fad is going mobile because it's cheaper. But like I said, you need to sell to moms. And no mom's going to spend $400. Not only that, but like, who has the room really to always have space cleared out in their room especially like kids.
Yeah, to have this
in their room
setup.
to have the setup, to set up the sensors and stuff. Like, can you, Hampton, legit camo. When you were a little, legit camo of 8, 9 years
think
old.
about my apartment room.
Oh yeah.
Do you think I have room in my apartment right now for VR? My room is so small, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know how I'd be able to make it work, I think, but I wouldn't have like the full range of motion that you are supposed to have in this VR environment.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
So imagine like little 8-year-old legit camel or little 8-year-old high score TJB trying to clean their room. I mean, I guess it's a good way to make sure kids keep their rooms clean.
I might be a little bit spoiled, but I had my own like living room upstairs. That was my gaming area, because there was like 3 living rooms in the house, because I had a huge house.
Go to a regular person living in an apartment. Let's be regular here. Who has that room in their bedroom? Especially a kid. Especially a kid who keeps their room clean. I don't know any kid who actually kept their room clean. That's a myth. That doesn't exist. But one thing I will give Oculus Rift in specific credit for is the YouTube celebrity endorsements, because they have been all over that. Like,
oh yeah, for sure. The YouTube celebrities playing all these games with Oculus Rift make it look really cool. It makes me kind of want to get one, just because of how immersed that they look in it. Like, their reactions are like legitimate, and it's like, you get, especially the scary games, like, I don't know if you've seen some of the videos of like grandmas wearing it too. Yeah. It's like the way that they're advertising it is they're advertising it through, like you said, the YouTube videos and stuff, like just everyday people playing it. Like, and you see an old person, they're playing a scary game and they're legit like freaking out over it. It's hilarious. I'm
just
to
waiting
watch.
for the heart attack to happen.
Yeah, it makes you want to do it yourself just to get the experience, which is kind of their big selling point with it. But one last thing that I really wanted to cover on this was the fact that you know how some games have that little promotion at the beginning. It's like, sorry, there's some flashing lights with seizures and stuff like that, or motion sickness. People that get motion sickness easily, watch out for this game, whatever. The VR, I think, is just going to enhance that way more. Like, there's going to be a whole demographic.
I'm just waiting for the first lawsuit.
Yeah, there's going to be a whole demographic here that really I don't think is going to be able to dive into the VR very well, just because of the motion sickness problems. Like, we saw racing games and how kind of disorienting it can be a little bit, even for normal people that don't have, extra issues with that kind of stuff, to watch it. It might even give you a headache or something like that.
They need, that's, yet again, sell to moms. And what I mean by that is, yeah, cool, go for the core market. You need to have the core market on board for any video game themed thing to be successful. But you also got to not leave out the casual market. You leave out the casual market, you limit your perspectives, you limit your views of who you can bring in, you limit your money, and it does not work well.
Yeah,
you need to hit your casual market. As much as I hate saying that, and every other gamer is going to hate hearing that needs to happen.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really what I meant by it, is like, I think there needs to be a good selection of games that you can play that aren't going to be like this insane stuff jumping at you all over the place, so that you can still enjoy the VR, but if you easily get seizures and stuff like that, it's not gonna, you're not gonna have to miss out on the experience just because you're very prone to stuff like that.
Make Netflix and make Hulu more compatible with VR.
That would be
weird
cool.
As that sounds. Yeah, it's a cool idea, isn't it? Now that you think about it, make Hulu and Netflix more compatible with VR, and I think you can have a home run. Hey, this is High Score TJB. Thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, like us on Facebook, like us on Twitter, tell your friends about us. Just anything to help get the word out, help get us some more subscriptions, likes, all that fun stuff. If you want to see any more videos, click any of the links shown here, and see you next time.